Disconcerting. Yep.
I'm just trying to turn him down. Doesn't do much.
Please hold for it.
There's actually a Japanese device which is designed to do exactly this. Feed your voice back to you slightly delayed, and it disrupts your ability to think.
Yeah.
Perfect.
One from a classroom.
Okay.
Diminish.
Indeed, yes.
Something political.
Mm-hmm.
That Lutheria temple that she wants us to mess with. Who do they worship? Is it literally a person called Lutheria, a god called Lutheria?
Lutheria was
Yeah.
that dream lady. She was the one who
Yeah.
came into our dreams, and she's bad news. She's like a goddess of dreams, goddess of death, and
Wife of Sidon.
a wife of Sidon. Oh, sorry, sister of Sidon, and she's also responsible for my mother's death. So, Dharma hates her.
But there is the opportunity. We know
Grandmother's death. Sorry, grandmother's death.
we know that people go into the school. They put their children into there, and we thought it might be possible to get some of them out of there because there's also quite a high casualty rate in the school.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering also if but I don't see her name on this list that Malcolm sent us. We could piss her off by winning some stuff at the games, but it doesn't look like she's been represented.
No. Yeah. And Sidon. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some.
And make them look horrible cheaters or something.
I think games definitely have some time, right?
Yeah. I certainly hope so.
When do the games commence?
Make time.
Malcolm?
5 days. Oh, 3 days. Okay. Sorry, I thought it was 5. Awesome. That's even better. So that gives us time to do some stuff. Yeah, because I basically think a strong Mitros is the best case scenario for us to actually win once the Oath of Peace is finished,
Even if
right?
we don't win the games, but fuck the Zidon's people during the games.
Yeah.
As another option.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, both might be better options, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, of all the places we've been, Mitros seems to be the most Sidon friendly.
Exactly. And so,
hearts and minds, people, hearts and minds.
yeah, and if we can sort of somehow install, what's her name? The goddess of wisdom.
Queen Versi?
Yeah, if we can install Queen Valis, if we can install her on the throne rather than Acastus, was it? Yeah. Akakis. Yeah, he's a bit of a jerk. Not trustworthy. Cool. Yeah, I'd love to go to the Temple of Etheria, but also happy to tie Hor. I reckon that we wait for a little bit before the Minotaur market. I think that's what we talked about last time. Shall we go to the...
Who was going to the Satyr's Tail? Who was that?
My idea for the Minotaur market is that while the great games are on, security may be lax there for a small strike force while everyone's distracted by the games.
Yeah.
To go in and wreck some shit up.
Also, has that temple got anything to do with the Minotaur markets, or any association there? Anything we can do to fuck with that temple without not necessarily going in there directly might be helpful. Unless we actually do have to go in there directly for some reason.
And
Yeah. Zone of
A lot of
truth.
insight rolls.
Some sort of divination wizard would be handy.
Some sort of
no.
a truth of zone.
Indeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way in a this third episode of a season of a thing where we, just ended up egg on her face, pissing someone off.
well, I do think that the Great Academy would be worth visiting for information. The Temple of Etheria, I think, would be worthwhile to get to know one's enemy and perhaps disrupt their plans. And then in 3 days' time, perhaps then to compete in the events, the great games, might be worthwhile. And perhaps we might, while we're hunting around here, be able to improve our chances. Perhaps we could make that goal.
Because the Satyr's Tail was that to talk to the lady.
Purely to the from Silas's point of view, let me check his notes. I wrote a thing down about that place. There's the possibility of some sailors there who know where the location of that boat is.
Oh, because that was the other thing that was dragging us out of it, away from the games, was potentially finding the boat.
A dude called Spiro, Spiro,
Cyrus. Right.
is there, and he might know the location of the Ultros.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, shall we go to? But
that's helpful.
it was like dangerous, and we needed to get more information in order to.
Yeah, it was that guy. That guy told us where it was, and we don't trust him that much.
Exactly. Shall we go to the Great Academy then, maybe? Would that be wise?
Cool. Silas is all into that idea.
Okay, well,
Everybody else is cool with it.
not just.
Oh wow, inland. Oh.
Huh.
Like the TV series Lost.
Well, at least if we visit the Satyrs Tale, the rumours might also give that indication, or they might indicate somewhere else. But that would be useful to know if we could confirm that, and possibly in the academy. I'm quite keen to get to the libraries to see if there is any research or information that we could look up about the myth or where its locations are that might give further evidence towards it being located at the Dead Falls.
Well, shall we go see how we go? But as a rough plan, go the Great Academy, Satyrs Tale, Temple of the Aotearoa, and then you're wanting to do the Minotaur Market once the games have commenced. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to.
Yeah,
Three whole days.
You can do it on Poetry Day.
I would just suggest that in terms of the political balance for here, the Minotaurs that we have encountered, along with the Centaurs, would be wise to point out that they are not exactly friendly towards the five gods. Given their treatment, especially in Mitros and the other places, they may not be the most amenable allies. Although I agree with the sentiment of freeing them, perhaps we might best raise our profile by winning some of the games, or winning it outright, and then looking to free them from their plight.
I hear you, Pericles, and you speak wisely as always. My blood boils at the idea of my brethren being sold and marketed as pounds of flesh and objects. But yes, you're true. The love of Sidon and the loyalty to him does run deep in our clan. But let's play it as we see it.
There's also those children who are worshipping a savage religion perhaps against their will.
Do you think the Satyr's Tale was a euphemism?
Look down.
Sounds good.
Yes, let's.
We could kill two birds with one stone initially by going to the Satyr's Tale and asking a little bit about the Great Academy while we're there, as well asking about the Ultros. Just throwing it out there.
Again, we've got 3 whole days.
Yes.
We can go everywhere.
Everywhere! Let's go everywhere!
I mean, I know we're loath to do it, but is there a case for splitting the party in this situation?
And when it comes to both the Great Academy and the Satyr's Tale,
I think mechanically it won't make any difference. Like, we still have to spend time, talking about each. So let's just stick together, just in case shit hits the fan somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
what can the Queen Valor tell us about the Academy before we go? Is there a
Sorry, just one sec. Slight technical problem. Okay. You guys hear me okay? Ah. Um... Ah. Check. Fuck. Check.
No, you guys have got to go do some big brain stuff. I'm not going to make use for that.
To be honest with you, Proteus is not particularly key. I mean, I couldn't give two beep, but about the Great Academy. I mean, it sounds very bookish. I mean, I love that. I love a good read, but I'd rather be having an ale or a wine somewhere and maybe just talking to some people.
Given the upcoming games, I thought perhaps you might do some research into the history and perhaps get some poetical or lyrical information to help you.
I agree. You're right. I also do my best poetry is usually done when I'm half a bottle down. All right, let's go to the academy, and if I get bored, I'll leave.
Is Malcolm back?
I am back.
Shit, there's a Great Academy. Oh, right.
Assuming you can hear me there.
Excellent. Yeah.
Yes,
perfect.
Okay, good.
The Great Academy is full of wizards and stuff. Yeah, it's Hogwarts.
Yeah,
what I remember from
Hogwarts would be a good description. It's a university for sure,
Right.
specializing in the arcane.
And then we can go. Then we can go get a bit of tail.
University.
Sorry?
Is it Hogwarts or is it the Unseen University from Ankh-Morpork?
Oh, no, Unseen University.
Nice.
Oh, no, actually more Hogwarts, though I prefer the Unseen University. It's
Yeah, we wish it was the Unseen.
yeah, Terry Pratchett is sorely missed. So where are you guys going?
Tally-ho, we're
Academy.
going
Academy.
Yeah. Police Academy 3.
All right. So you head out onto the streets of Mitros. And as you're...
sorry guys, just briefly, did we get a chance to chat with Valeria about places to go and people to see at the Academy?
I assume you mean Valis.
Dallas, sorry. Did we want to do it, or should we just head off?
Well, she was the one who gave us all the hints and tips about this whole place anyway, right?
Oh, right. Has she got a piece of paper that says we're awesome and they should tell us everything we need to know when we ask? Because she's a queen.
She says, no, I don't. But I don't think that's going to be a problem for you. The news of your deeds are spreading rapidly. I mean, there was the great things you guys did in the Heartlands by defeating the Great Boar. news of you entering the Temple of Necropolis, news of you defeating the witch at the Mossy Temple, and retrieving and relighting the forge, not to mention saving the city of Sidon. I know some of you have had problems in the past with people not treating you well due to perceived curses and perceived doomed, but the public opinion is shifting. I don't think it's going to be a problem getting access to anywhere. If you do make your way to the Great Academy, I think the doors will be swung wide open. So a letter, Silas, will not be necessary.
All right, take your wisdom on that.
I'm going to call you Silos from now on. That's sounds more devious.
Sounds more Greeky too.
Are you flying, Silas, today? What have you done?
Yeah, I'll take. All right, we're about to go to the Great Academy.
No, don't fly. We won't need flights. There's a talkie, right?
Well, we do have. Is our bard friend coming with us?
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Then Aotearoa
Until I get bored. Does this mean I'm actually going to have to write some poetry, aren't I? Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You can be Googling amusing lyrics in the background, surely.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've got 3 days. Don't worry, I've got this.
You know, Lil Wayne doesn't write anything down, bro.
But you also don't understand anything he says.
If I had any cuffs, I would be going off them.
Okay, I'm not flying today. I'm feeling a little sad.
What events are we going to all enter all events, or are we thinking maybe just
I was thinking leaving the games until the games, really. I might join some poetry with you. I'm quite an intelligent man, and I've got a -3 in charisma, so I'll be perfect for it.
Yeah.
And I'll be very sad and sing lots of goth things, so I think we're shooing.
Yeah.
Mm.
We could enter the Great Relay as a team.
Oh, yes. I do enjoy a run.
I would like to, while we're at the Great Academy here, research the history of the games and see, at least establish what the sort of rules and conditions are. And
looking out for loopholes.
If it is considered frowned upon if we were to perhaps
Place a bet?
obtain magical blessings upon our performances, or to the usage of magically enhanced weapons or similar in the various challenges.
We can make some money by betting against Thamus in the poetry event.
But I was wondering if we want to, with 3 days to go, publicly and Queen Valia saying that people think we're Alice. Fucking Valia's way cooler. Alice, with her saying that the people dig us. Maybe if we did an announcement now that we could be joining the games, we might be able to, in the name of Mitros, we might be able to ramp up some support behind us.
Yeah. I'm fine with that. I think that we're very keen to do the games. Is that right? I don't think we open with a maybe. Like, I'm not a PR representative or anything like that. But if we're going to do it, we say we do it, and so be it.
All right, we'll get Queen Valis to get on to her publicity person to help us out.
A social media manager.
Yes.
We'll just do some buzz marketing.
Yes. I think we'll go to the pub.
I'll be the looks of the team. I don't know about the rest of you.
Okay, to the Great Academy.
To the Great Academy.
You leave the Great Palace, seeing Mitros really for the first time. Keep in mind there was thunder and rain and flooding and death, and the city is getting back to being a city. And as you pass through the great arch of the Grand Palace, entering into the city, Proteus, a silver piece thwacks you in your head from above.
From above, you mean like fell from the sky, or is there someone from a balcony? I look around, and is anyone trying to get my attention? What do I see?
You look around and you see. Actually, I think there's some art for this. Let me just check.
I mean, I
Nice.
don't think I'm in need of charity. I'll take a little bit of offense. Do I take any damage?
No. No, it just it hasn't fallen from a great height. And you look up and you see a dragon looking like this.
Hey?
A silver dragon of immense size. Like it's no child, it's no wormling. It's of a decent size. And you see it's lying on a pile of just, you don't know, thousands and thousands of silver pieces. And the dragon smiles down and he looks at each one of you in the eyes and he says, a silver please for the heroes of the bozos.
Well, thank you. And who might you be?
I am Icarus. And what's your name? Oh, I know. You're dumbass, right?
No, that's him.
Oh, you're all dumbasses as far as I'm concerned.
Wow. You haven't heard his poetry yet.
His poetry. I'd vomit before listening to his utterings.
I must admit it's quite harsh to have a dragon just sitting here, but obviously if you wish to interact with us, we've obviously got in your head somewhat, I believe.
Oh, I've heard tales of you screwing things up, stupid dumbasses. And the Minotaur Oko Bozo.
All right. Okay. You're rude.
No, you're rude.
And he blows a raspberry. He blows a raspberry at Icarus. Don't fly too close to the sun.
Oh, I'll fly wherever I'm like. I'm a mother trucking dragon.
Are you entering the games?
Oh, I would dominate the games. I am the strongest creature in this entire town.
Oh, I didn't think about competing against dragons. How big is this dragon, Malcolm?
Put it this way: it's an adult size, so it's
big.
It's big, but not the biggest, which would be an ancient dragon, but pretty damn big. It's imposing. So why don't you take that little
the full
silver
signs of mature?
Well, how about I do take this silver coin?
and
Thank
buy
you very
yourself
much.
a life? You're gonna
And
need it.
Does this mean you're interested in investing in our athletic development?
Oh, I'm interested to see how dreadfully you'll fail. I mean, heroes of the oracle, heroes of the jokester, more like it. King Acastus is using me to re-establish the order of the Dragon Lords, and you guys are just gonna look like complete dunderheads when we ride to victory.
Do you guys hear something?
Yes, I hear.
I hear nothing, sir.
Oko Bozo
Sorry,
has
I hear
lost his
nothing.
hearing. Typical stupid
No,
Minotaur.
it sounds like someone's trying to talk, but all I hear is clucking noises from a big chicken.
Something of like buck, 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 buck. Have a silver coin. Something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend his coin on a prostitute. Thank you. Bye.
That's a pretty classy prostitute. One silver coin.
Yes, that's right. Keep on walking, you cowards.
Did you hear that buck, buck sound again?
Why is this chicken pecking around so much?
You hear a mighty flapping of wings. Several more silver coins crash down as this dragon leaps from its treasure hoard and lands right in front of you, blocking your way from the palace. What was that you said about chickens? Do not tempt me, I will fry you where you stand.
Someone say chickens?
Silver dragons, do they breathe fire, acid, ice?
Lightning.
Lightning, yeah. Oh, I might have...
Lightning, oh.
I will light you up.
Oh, mighty Icarus, oh, mighty chicken of the sky. What would you have us do?
Take back that chicken comment.
Well, this is your chance, mighty dragon, to start betting against us, because we are going to be in the games. Let everybody know they can bet against us and do whatever they wish. But we'll meet you, or your people, in the games, and then you can call us whatever you like. In the meantime, we'll just take your chicken silver or whatever the stuff is.
I actually feel very strongly that any silver we get off this Icarus, we give away and feed the needy. I do not want even this false charity from this dragon.
The dragon, while you're saying this, is scooping up the silver that fell off when he lifted up from his treasure pile, and he's scooping it up. And he looks at you one more time. You are all beneath me. You are false prophets. The order of the Dragon Lords will resurrect with me at its head. And voomp, it flies back up to its roost. Roost? Yeah, roost is a good word.
Well, you, sir, smell like poo.
Yeah, you're a smelly pile of poo yourself.
Yeah. See you at the games.
I won't be there, but I can guarantee I'll be betting against you.
And let your people know we'll be there too.
Okay.
Well, Icarus. That guy sucked.
Icarus,
Why did we keep...
dude, you are like... You need to do better. Dragons...
Icarus, let your human masters know that we will be at the games. The human ones, who you bow to.
Oh, King Acastus knows you're going to be there already. King Acastus knows everything.
Well, that's the man you bow to. The human that you bow to. Okay.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Makes sense. Did you know that I can't die?
Silas. Zing.
King Acastus is a great man. He will lead us to victory.
What is it? Oh, there's no great event. Javelin jumping.
Proteus yawns very loudly and says, I'm bored of this guy. Let's go. To the bookshop. Academy.
Okay.
You're going to need somebody who's very good at talking to animals.
Now, I can't remember who it was, but somebody made a quite accurate observation. This is an adult dragon. Normally adult dragons are hundreds and hundreds of years old. And usually...
that's right.
You seemed a little immature.
Mm-hmm.
Who said that?
We heard about this.
Yeah.
We heard about this,
Yeah, we've been told,
Who made that observation?
Acastus is artificially aging dragons or something like that? Was something we learned earlier?
I don't know about the observation, Malcolm. I did ask how big he was, but...
You were implying through doing farty noises and saying he's poos.
Yeah. I was talking in his level, trying to appeal to his maturity.
Thought somebody... okay, whatever. But yes, that's
something...
Last session...
I think...
Someone roll an insight check.
Yeah.
On who?
I can do that. Here's my insight check. Crappy.
Inciting.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just doing what Ocko told me to do.
Sorry.
He's never been a leader.
There's a bridge up ahead. Maybe you'd want to jump off that.
If there's free ale, I'll do it.
I believe there's free ale at the Great Academy.
Can we add that?
Sorry, Malcolm. I could have asked if I could try to figure out what this dragon's deal is.
Sure. Well, I mean, I kind of the clues lined up, right? Valis said these were seemingly artificial aged, and Icarus seems to be an example of that, right? It didn't speak with any grandeur. I'm not sure what else I could give you. Like, what his deal is? Well, he's a dick, obviously, an immature dick.
Yeah.
It's not hard to see.
Yeah. He's got stinky breath, and
I think it's the acne under his scales that really gave it away.
so we learnt last week that there were some dragons that have been. How would you word it?
You just raised quickly, artificially
but
aged.
But their mental age stayed the same. If that made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which seems to be the case with this dragon.
He's just a jumped up school bully.
Yeah, roided up.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, that gives me, and I guess Okabulla as well, some form of compassion for this young dragon who's, he's just a kid. And with that, I guess I would ask my companions to, let's leave this kid alone. He's just a baby. He's just a kid. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know how to act, basically.
Well, he's obviously never been told no before, so I certainly have some terse words for his parents.
And that, my friends, makes him more dangerous than any adult dragon I've met. Not that I've ever met one.
He just needs a good dressing down by someone bigger than him.
I mean, I would bet that he this is all stuff that I'm saying in earshot of Icarus. I bet that he doesn't even know his parents. He's probably taken from them at an early age.
No, his parents probably abandoned him because he was so stinky.
I heard that.
They didn't want him. I mean, who would?
Now you're just hurting his feelings.
And also, he likes silver. Ugh. Any respectful dragon would like gold, right? I mean, it's worth more and stuff. He's obviously a second place dragon. Second tier.
He's ignoring you.
Well, I have an interesting observation on that. Possibly it is because the silver dragons produce lightning, and silver, as it turns out, is a far better conductor of electricity than gold. So probably that would relate to why it would want its hoard to be of silver rather than gold. Just out of a practical point. I seem to remember Fizzban, or a gentleman of a similar name, had a book all about the history of dragons, and perhaps we could find it at the Great Academy.
Nice reference. Okay. Can we go there now?
Sure.
Ignore this guy. He's on my list, though. You're on my list, Icarus. I've written you on my list.
As you descend down the stairs for the Grand Palace, I mean, not everybody, maybe Tom, Dick, and Harry can get up there. There's heavily guarded, but you guys, the guards are, don't prevent you from leaving or coming back. But as soon as you get to this open streets of Metros, and as you leave the palace, you realize that people everywhere are watching you with great interest. You hear excited chatter among the crowds. It's the Arcos chosen ones, the heroes of the Heartland. They've come to Metros to save us from the Titans. And several detachments of centurions, they see you and they salute you as you walk past. And as news of your presence spreads, more and more admirers crowd around you, vying for your attention. Before long...
Silas begins to sing, hoping that some bagpipes will kick in behind him.
Sure, we'll get to that in a
He's
second.
thinking something about being heroes of the Heartland.
Well, your progress has got into a crawl. This is something that Queen Valis hinted at. Your fame is preceding you. And one lady pushes to the front of her crowd, and she holds up a baby, a human baby, to Silas and says, Silas, the great one, would you kiss my baby, please?
He takes the child in his arms,
Oh,
spreads his
blessed
wing
be.
at full spread, and kisses the child.
Oh, praise
Whoa.
be. Oh, Okobolo. Oh, my aged father is such a fan of yours. He's heard your deeds, and it would make him so happy. I mean, he's going to got days to live. Would you please come and visit my father and put in a kind word? It would mean the world to him. Please, Okobolo.
Of course, of course. What is your name?
My name is...
And your father's name?
Spyros. I'm Spyros Jr., he's Spyros Sr. Please, this way.
Spyros Senior, yes. The Spyros family, anything for you. Yeah.
And they
My
start
friends, journey on. I'll meet you somewhere else.
So, okay.
So easily swayed.
So you're allowing yourself to be dragged away, sure. Okobolo,
Oh shit! What just happened?
Okobolo got dragged away to do some public service. The father said that the child said
Alright.
who was sick. And so we'll just focus on Okobolo for a second, then we'll switch back to you guys. So Okobolo, this person starts dragging you down past the Temple of Sidon into this place called Stygian Row. And it doesn't take a genius to know that this is where the poorest of the poor live inside of Metros. There's some like camps outside, but this is very much the slum of Metros. Compared to the pristine conditions around the Grand Palace and the Temple of the Five, clean, tidy. This is the opposite. Stinky, open sewers, just disgusting. Ankh Pork once again. And this Spyros drags you into his, presumably his home, and a crowd's gathering outside as well. And he brings you into this very basic home. It's basically a single room combined with a kitchen, a bed, and everything. And in the corner, lying on a straw mat, not much more than that, you see a very elderly man. He looks very, very sick. And he says, "Oh, do my eyes deceive me? Is that the great Okobolo?"
Do my eyes deceive me? Is this the great Spyros Senior who I behold?
Oh, you are too kind. I know I'm a nobody in your eyes, but my family is...
No, old gentleman, old uncle. I've heard about you from as far away as Astoria and beyond. You have been a great man in this city, Spyros.
Make a deception
And I
check
have been
for
brought
me.
here by the five gods themselves to visit you and tell you of this.
Make a deception check.
Oh yeah, charisma rolls always there. Fuck yeah!
You also
Oh my gosh. Right, you are not doing poetry.
You rolled a 2 in there. What?
Yeah, he's got -3. He rolled a 2.
It's
Oh, it's
anti-poetry.
-1. Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Bolo. My family I have family connections in the Heartlands, and we couldn't farm because of that great boar. So I owe you a thanks. Let me get up and prepare you a meal. And he struggles to get up. He's not really managing it. And Spyros says, No, Father, lie down. Maybe, Mr. Bolo, you could spend some time with my father, just telling deeds of your great adventures.
Yes, definitely. I'll tell him everything. Perhaps do you have are there other people who would like to hear these tales of what has happened in this land for the last few weeks?
People are crowding around this rather humble establishment, like peering into the doors. Some of them are crowding around the open door, and they're stumbling in and trying to retreat back, but the crowd keeps on pressing. So you have an audience.
Yeah. Okay. I'll help Spiros Senior to the front step and ask the crowd to push back so that he would have some room, and then I would like to tell them about everything that's been happening and why they should be not so cool about Sidon and Lutheria and stuff. And I'm going to have to roll for something, and it's not going to do very well, but this is what we got to do.
Okay. I'll say you can make a persuasion check with advantage because the tales you're telling are true, and you have an attentive audience. So make a persuasion at advantage.
Okay, that's not terrible for Okobolo.
At advantage, so rolling. 11. Okay, yeah, well, not bad. So yeah,
Better than 10.
Yeah,
above average, which is pretty good for Okobolo. Not where his strength lies, but you have an audience and they're listening. Yeah. Okay, so we'll leave.
Yeah.
Okobolo. Yep.
Okay. Once all this is done, I'd like to go out and help rebuild, especially in Stygian Row, because this is the bad shit right here.
Yeah. This is where the worst of the effects from the Sidon storm was. There's houses that were just flattened, right? It's a slum, right? You build with what you have, and building codes and strong things. Okay, so we'll say that's Okobolo's day, regaling tales, and then you put your strong back to work and do your best to rebuild some of Stygian Row. There's only so much you can do in a day, of course. Take month-long repairs. It's the old story, beach full of starfish, and you throw one back, and people say, well, that's not doing much, but it does something for the starfish. So the people whose houses you manage to rebuild, it's almost getting uncomfortable with how much they're hanging on your words and how much praise. Well, I don't know. They're giving you a lot of praise, Okobolo. How's Okobolo dealing with the praise? I shouldn't assume.
Okobolo is telling him to fuck off and lend a hand. If you've got breath, to talk about me. You've got breath to work.
Okay, well, some of them continue laying praise, and some of them continue to start rebuilding. It's always a mix. Okay. So, as Okobolo is dragged away by Spyros to the Stygian Row, the rest of you are still crowded by it with the babies. Spyros?
Yeah.
Spyros? Yeah, that was the person who dragged Okobolo over.
Huh. Can I message Okobolo and say that I know of a man called Spyros who may know where the Ultros lies. If you can get that out of Spyros, that would be. If this is the man, then and you can get it out of him, that would be to our advantage to confirm what the king has told us.
Excellent. Well, I'll try. I'll try and find that out. But I suspect this guy might just be a cousin.
Oh,
He has no idea.
indeed. Do what you can. Oh,
No idea. It's a different Spyros. So, okay. So the rest of you, you can make your way to the academy if you like, but babies are shoved in your faces. Some of them are asking for your blessings. In fact, someone comes up to Proteus and says, "Proteus, I've been down on my luck for a long time. I've been struggling to get out of Stygian Row and make a decent run of myself. I'm sure your blessings upon me would help."
Yes,
Bless me,
here's
Proteus.
a piece of silver.
Oh, blessings
Yeah.
Protoss the Generous.
Oh, of course, yes. And what's
As
your
he's
name?
handing them out, Silas is going, well, protests will be at the games. Be sure to support them. All that
Yes,
sort of
yes.
thing. I'm just building everyone up.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Get all the ladies together and support me at the games. I'll be doing some lovely poetry.
Nobody poetry is like the poet.
And I'll be at the Satyr's Tail before the games.
Ladies.
Ladies.
Well, we'll see you there. It's a bit of a shithole. I think it's beneath you, but sure. The Satyr's Tail it is. Silas, you hear, you feel someone plucking a feather from your wings. And you turn around and someone's holding, I have the feather of Silas! I'll be blessed for all my days! And they start running away.
You will be cursed, sir. Do not take my feathers. Is what Silas yells out behind him.
Make an intimidation check, Silas.
Oh, that's intelligence. Intimidation.
He really likes apples, if you want to win his favour.
God damn.
Just continues running. I'll be blessed for eternity with Silas! And you feel another person pluck a feather from your back. You turn around and a kid, maybe 12, 13-year-olds, he grabs it and he's about to run, but he just stares dumbfounded up in your eyes, holding your feather in his hand.
Silas kneels down.
Yep.
And takes the feather from him gently.
He doesn't resist.
And says to him, ask for it nicely.
Nicely ask. Can I have your feather, please, oh great and mighty Silas?
My child? No. Know that you never take anything from anyone without asking. And I say that to all of you. Silas is really confused because he's never been adored. He's only ever been shunned. And he was embracing it for he was loving it. He was fucking digging it. But then they touched my testicles. That's my feathers, man. Don't touch my feathers. And so he's confused. And no, child, you can't have this feather, and neither can any of you.
Can I have some gold?
But you can have my blessings.
Okay, blessings of Silas, please.
I takes the palm of the child and touches the child's palm and rubs his palm against the child's palm and says, "Go with peace and be sure to support us all." And he signals to all of us at the games.
And the people
but
cheer.
Do not touch my wings, child, ever.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, don't be sorry. Just know this. Ask next time.
Okay. And as you're pushing your way to the Great Academy, pushing through these crowds of people, you see people like that. They're kind of like almost look like they're tempted to grab your feathers, but they resist. It seems the message has
giving
gone
them
out.
the stares as well. Try it.
Well, yes. So the combination of glares and the combination of your talk is keeping people back. An elderly woman comes up and says, "Damas, I hear you're wise beyond your years. Is that true?"
Oh yes, I'm very wise, very charismatic, very very good man. Actually, I'm a very very capable adventurer. Yes.
Might I have your advice?
Of course, I'd be happy to dispense with my knowledge.
My dear husband, Andrianos, we've been married for 50 years, and
Yes.
the time has not been gentle on him, and he's starting to lose his mind. And he's starting to say very things to very young ladies and stepping beyond what is considered socially normal. But he is not of himself. Oh, what should I do, great Damas?
Are you afeard that he might be cursed? His mind may be taken over?
Oh, they're not
Anything
cursed.
of the...
It's been a slow decline. I don't think it's magical. He's just old. What should I do?
But does he have his wits with him? Does he? Can he?
No.
So he would not be able to look after himself at all.
No, that's me. 100% responsible for him.
Well,
But it's getting so hard. It's so awkward. I don't know.
Of course, it's awkward. I mean, stick to your guns and tell him that it is not appropriate. Always call him out, as frustrating as it may be. But well, put it this way: how was your relationship before this started happening?
Oh, it's beautiful. For 45 years, we were in love in the last days as we were in the first days. But the last 5 years haven't been so easy. So your advice is a firm hand.
Well, of course, you don't need to tolerate it. Unfortunately, it very much depends on you. That's my wisdom. What you can bear, but what are the alternatives for you? What are the alternatives for him? And if you say he is not in his right mind, well, yes.
I mean, I'm embarrassed to
Perhaps
say
he
it,
would-
but I've been tempted to run away to that place that the DM's temporarily forgotten, but we'll come back to him in a second. I'm tempted to run away to Astoria. I must admit that. I haven't done it, but it is tempting.
How do the young women react to him?
Oh, they're most offended. It's so embarrassing.
And how often does he leave the house?
Well, that's the other problem. He wants to go by himself, but I don't trust him, so I have to tag along.
Oh, look, this is a complex situation, but I would tell him, if he's still got his wits about him, that you don't appreciate it. Give him fair warning, and if it continues, perhaps you do need to take action. But my best advice is to look inside your heart. If it's should you stay or should you go, my strongest recommendation would be flip a coin. And if the coin yields a result that you're unhappy with, then you know that you should have done the other one, and so follow that one. If you flip the coin and your heart feels like it's the true one, then follow that fate too.
Oh, Damas, you are so wise. And she dawdles off, presumably to take on the advice that you've given. Okay.
Now, shall we head to the academy, everyone? I mean, it's wonderful meeting all these people, but should we keep on moving?
Indeed. And gentlemen, anything you say, add to it, will be at the games. See you there.
I'll be at the games! See you there!
As you push forward, two young men in grey togas, you recognize the garb as being acolytes of the Temple of the Five, like, monks, that type of figure who serve inside the Temple of the Five. And they're holding out a bowl, and they say, please, a donation for the Temple of the Five. And you see, just as you're about to make a decision, a passing captain, dressed in blue like a sash across his shoulder, plainly from the Order of Poseidon, shoves them to the ground and says, "We don't need beggars here!" And he spits on them, and this captain from the Order of Poseidon walks away.
Now, see here, man. You cannot do that. That's disrespectful.
We do not tolerate beggars here.
Oh, no, and we also do not tolerate such foul behavior. I happen to be a cleric of the Five Gods, and I will not tolerate this for my fellow worshippers. They do not deserve to be treated any less than the humans they are.
And by the very
I
worship
demand
of
you
the
apologize.
by the very worship of their 5, they are already less than. I will not apologize.
What is with you people? I mean, we've been living here side by side, not necessarily pleasantly for all these years, but we've been tolerant of each other. What is getting your hackles raised? They were talking to me, not you. I believe that you should apologize for this.
I'm not going to. The oath of peace is coming to an end. I am making it clear whose side I am on.
Oh, yes.
Are you certain then? You support who?
I support Lord Sidon.
Boo!
You really think that?
I know I worship him.
I raise up the...
Why don't you instead just look down at this gentleman and say I'm sorry?
Why don't you go fuck yourself?
Those are some angry words. Perhaps you'll allow me to sing. And he begins to sing.
Okay.
Magically. Because he doesn't often get a chance to do this. Fuck it, I'll try it now. So he's going to use his enthrall.
Mhm.
And he's going to sing a song about forgiveness and the greatness of Mitros the city and Mitros the god.
Okay.
And the strength of saying I'm sorry and the genuine strength of saying that and knowing that.
So this is your enthrall ability, right? Does he get a save? How does that work?
Yeah, he gets a save, wisdom versus 15.
And if he fails?
I'll just check it out up there.
Sure.
You weave. Can I check that out? How do I check that up again? I'll just cast use. There it is. It should be there. Is it up there?
No.
Oh, no.
It's playing VTT.
Yeah.
Why not? That should
There's a box in the corner that says display in VTT.
Click on it. And then cast on VTT. Yep.
No, display on
Sorry.
BTT.
Right.
Oh. Okay, I'm not getting that one up.
It's right. It should be right under the cast on the top corner.
Yeah.
So top
okay,
right-hand
yes,
corner.
the in a white box.
There we go.
That's right.
And his friends, creatures of my choice. So and his friends as well.
I like all bullies. He's got a group of people with him. Chicks. Creature. Charmed. Okay, well, listen.
Ultimately, the song is simply asking him to say sorry to this man and help him to his feet.
So you sing with your beautiful voice, Silas, and not only this dickhead guard is paying attention to you. Actually, make a performance check. It's going to work, but let's see how beautiful your song is.
Ooh, he's got that on advantage. That's it's the button for it. Oh, it might just happen. Yep. Ooh, nice.
Great. Yes. You've got everybody's paying attention to the song. The shoving of babies in the face stops, and everybody stops for a moment to hear the beautiful singing of the sirens, Silas Wingback. And the guard says, it was beautiful. Look, I'm sorry, all right? I just want to show my devotion to Sidon, and maybe I need to find better ways of doing that than being a bully.
And my trust is certainly not off the cards. Now help this man to his feet.
There was 2 of them, and he helps both of them to their feet. And then he looks around, seeing everybody kind of looking down on him, and he doesn't like it, and he walks away.
Okay, Silas begins, before he starts walking away,
Yep.
Silas begins to say, Mitros, and to get the audience behind.
Yeah, they're enthralled by your song. They think you're cool, and they start chanting Mitros as well.
Cool.
Nice.
Now we have no coins left. Is that right, Coin Master?
We've got 56 silver pieces that we accrued in treasure.
Okay.
Otherwise, we have some gems and jewels of some value as well, but they are single, non-divisible ones currently until we find some way of breaking them.
Well, I would very much like to spend 10 silver on these beggars speaking in the name of the five gods, if that's fine by everyone.
Okay. Happy to do that.
Well, thank you for your
Thank you.
donation. Beggars? That was his word? Is that your word for people
No,
asking
that's what
for
I meant.
donations?
No, not at all. Not at all. Sorry, I just got confused by the hearing what the DM was saying. No, these representatives of the five gods.
Yes.
No, yeah. But I happen to be a cleric of the five gods myself, and have spent a lot of time there. And so, with this windfall, I will greatly impart this as best we can. If it weren't for a nefarious stater that we met on the way here, I would have given more. However, take this with our gratitude for all the work that you've given. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, mighty Damas. Perhaps you could come and give a sermon sometime at the Temple of the Five?
I would love that. I've been working towards that for my whole life. It would give me great honor to speak within the hallowed halls of the Temple of the Five Gods.
Well, we shall...
Perhaps with our newfound recognition, we could have a full clergy in which to speak to.
Well, we will look forward to your presence. And they retreat back.
Sometime within the next 3 days, I'll be there. But remember, in 3 days' time, we are going to be representing this fine city and the five gods, and as the heroes we are in the games. So please tell your friends.
Oh, well,
Messaging Damas nailed it.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. Oh no, I'm saying that out loud, and I message it back. Yeah, I know.
So, spreading words of how awesome you guys are to the crowds, and almost as relief, you enter the Great Academy. People are barred from entering, like the common folk, basically, who are following you around by some stern-looking guards. But the guards welcome you in, and you leave the busy streets of Mitros and into the relatively quiet places of the Great Academy. So it's just like it's a university. The sprawling campus of the academy bustled with activity. Over a dozen impressive marble buildings stands in rows, connected by paved, well-maintained pathways. Rich green lawns stretch between the pathways, and scholars can be seen reading, writing, and hotly debating all manners of subject. News of your arrival spreads quickly, and someone comes up. It's a half-orc, dressed in flowing magical robes typical of magic users. And he comes up and he says, Oh my goodness. Oh, we have the heroes of the Oracle here. Oh, you're most Malcolm, my friends. Welcome to the Great Academy. Oh, how might be I of service of you? To you?
Well, I think there are several things that you might be able to help us with. We have several topics that we would like to research. We would like to know more detail if there are any books on the history of the Ultros, or indeed any rumours to its location. We also wanted to inquire about the rules governing the upcoming games and the celebrations, and what skills we may apply and what assistance from the gods or titans we might call upon during those games. So essentially the history of those games.
Well, feel free to pursue our library for matters regarding the Ultros. I can give you a quick summary of the rules from the games. If you're competing as a team, only 3 members may compete in each event. No magic is allowed. Magic is strictly forbidden. No killing. People have died. Accidental killing, if it is deemed accidental, that is fine. But any bouts, any fights that go to the death unnecessarily, the guilty party will be banished to the island of the exiles. So basically, be a good sport, don't be a dick, and don't use magic. 3 per team per event. That's pretty much it.
Are there any sorry?
In terms of magic, in terms of during the event, but one cannot bless oneself or any other way be inspired musically by heroism or similar?
Oh, no magic at all. Pre-blessings strictly frowned upon. You can sing songs and cheer for your friends. Of course, everybody does that.
What about preloading at the pub?
Sing songs, did you say?
Well, listen. The great games have gone on for 500 years. It's a very time-honored event. A lot of honorable people have competed in it. If you want to bend the rules, then maybe your victory won't be as quite glorious if you do indeed win. People will say, oh, the mighty Okobolo won the games, but he had help. Sort of tarnish his legacy, if you will.
Is there any historical precedence for these rules being shaded in grey? For example, if one's magic is natural, shouldn't one utilize it?
Bottom line is, and I disagree with this ruling, all magic, whether it be divine or arcane, strictly forbidden. Of course, people get injured. Clerics will be on hand to heal them, but during the actual event, no magic, divine or arcane.
Is there any place in the library that you can point us to that might hint at the shades of grey being taken advantage of, if there are indeed some?
Of course. I'll point you in the direction. The history of the game. We have detailed records of the last 500 or 499 technically of the running of the great games. And of course, Ultros. We have history on the Ultros as well. I'm not sure if it can give you any location of it. These are historical texts, of course. It's where it was, not where it is. Perhaps that will be of use to you.
Yes. Knowing what it looks like in particular and what its features are would be of use to us. Yes.
I'm also very intrigued about its captain. I know how he gained his immortality, but I was wondering if anyone had maybe written a treatise or two about how one might remove it, shall we say.
Well, yes, research will be good. Just as you do find a picture of the Ultros, so I'm going to show you a picture of the Ultros. This is what the Ultros looks like. And you notice it is both powered by, there's a massive sail here, and 50 or so oarsmen that drive it. Oh, you've seen? No, I haven't seen Ultros. Yeah, that's what the Ultros.
Oh, it's technically a byreme. I can see that. Fantastic.
Somebody told us the oarsmen were they were undead or something. Is that right?
Istor Archelander, he made the deal with Lutheria, if you remember. Lutheria said, I can give you everlasting life, as long as you pledge allegiance to me and slaughter your crew. Istor Archelander promptly slaughtered his crew, and Lutheria was true to her word. She granted him everlasting life, but that is a curse in itself, because wounds would not heal. They would get infected, They would not kill him, but it had made a very painful existence. And legend has it that he is merely a shadow now. But he literally cannot die. And the crew that he slaughtered rose up as the undead and rowed the boat for him. That's how the story goes, anyway.
Oh, Malcolm, I sent you a Facebook message. I don't know if this changes anything or anything.
Oh, sure. Let me just check that.
It's a mechanical thing
Sure.
in the rogue description, which I should have mentioned way earlier in the week.
The second one that you mentioned would be the place to go.
Cool. Yep.
Definitely not here. And I'll give you... So... Oops. That's the name.
Awesome. Check that down in my notes for the meantime.
Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Silas. We've heard great stories of your legendary intelligence. Would you mind joining us in some debates? We'd be honored to have your presence.
Silas?
Oh, it's talking to me.
Yes.
We've heard stories of your
Thanks,
legendary intelligence. We'd love to debate you.
I was literally looking at the list of games available and wondering why great debates weren't there, being Greek philosophy world. So transferring the gamer to the character, jizzing a little bit. Yes, that's wonderful. I would love to take part in a great debate. Absolutely.
Please.
There's a large number of us who show requisite intelligence.
Quite capable. Yeah. I point out Damas and oh god, I can't remember your guys' names. Fuck.
Proteus.
And Proteus. And I'm saying these gentlemen here are equally capable.
Well, of course.
It would be a much more interesting debate. We could be an unbeatable team. But if you'd like to mix us up, that's fine too.
No, they can come along. We've just heard stories of your intelligence in particular, Silas. No offense to everybody else, of course.
Ask me the square root of something. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, come. And they lead you into the Hall of Debate, one of these halls at the Great Academy. And just a sec. So you enter into the hall. Students have already gathered. Expecting your presence, and the crowds are packing through in this classic lecture theatre, and the half-orc who's been talking to you introduces himself as Machon, and he says, I'm not going to say this in a voice because it's going to wreck my voice. He proposes this problem to Silas in particular, but welcomes input from everybody else. And the famed ship that brought the Dragon Lord Adonis Neuradragon from the old lands to the land of Thalia was called the Valorous. The Valorous had 60 oars, a single mast, and a great prow. Over the centuries it had decayed, and the Neuradragon family removed the old oars and planks, replacing it with newer and stronger timber. They replaced the mast when it was cracked in the storm, and they replaced the prow when the ship ran aground. After 5 centuries, Every single piece of the Valorous had been replaced. So my question to you is the Valorous now the same ship that once carried Adonis Neurodragon, or was she a different vessel? What do you think?
What name does she carry?
Valorous.
Not Valorous A, not Valorous B, not Valorous C, not NC C1701E.
Well, when you break an oar,
What
you don't
legend
rename
does she carry?
When you break an oar,
Not
you
sure
don't
what that
rename your ship. When you break a mast, you do not rename the ship. Her name has always been the Valorous. And sorry, what was
And
your
then what
question,
legend
Silas?
does she carry? What legend does she carry?
Oh, Legends of Great Voyage. I mean, if nothing else, she bought Adonis Neurodragon, one of the Dragon Lords, from the old lands of Thylea to the new lands. That in itself.
And when the people think of her in their hearts, what name do they hear in their heads?
Well, Valorous. Once again, you break an oar, you don't rename your ship. You break a staff, a mast, you don't rename your ship. Always been the Valorous.
Well, then, if it is in the people's hearts, if it is in the legend, and if it was the beginning, then it will always be the Valorous unchanged.
You do not think that removing every single piece, this is a new discovery I made. It's called the atom. My theory is everything can be broken down to a smallest possible component. Every atom of that ship is different. How can it be the same ship?
Look into somebody there's eyes who might be a little bit enthralled by our awesomeness as a group, and ask this person, like, walk off the stage like Obama did in that first town hall meeting.
Uh-huh.
And I ask you, young person, I don't know if this person is male or female.
Female.
He would say madam or sir. Okay, young madam. When you think of the Valorous in your heart, do you think of the planks that have replaced it? Do you think of the new mast? Do you think of the new headpiece? Or do you think of the legend that was the Valorous in its name?
Why? This lady's
What is in your heart? Don't think about this too much. Don't think about this too much. What is in your heart?
I think it's the same, because I'm a young mother. I have a child, not but 10 years old, and I think she looks completely different to the newborn babe I hold in my arms. I suspect her atoms have changed, but she will be forevermore, no matter what changes she undergoes. My daughter. So I think in the way that my daughter has changed but remains the same, I think the Valorous has changed, but it is still the Valorous. That is my opinion.
There you see, in the heart and mind of the people, and of this wonderful child that this young woman is raising, the Valorous will always be the Valorous, no matter what you do.
And a man pipes up, because it's always a man, and he says, "Ha! Rubbish! It's a completely different vessel. Every part of it, everything that defines the Valorous has changed. It is not the ship that Adonis took from the old lands. Every bit has changed. Such foolery."
Would you mind if I pipe up? The one thing that does define what it is us calling it. We define it. The names we apply to things are constructs in which we apply to the world around us, creating order out of chaos. Therefore, that very definition is what gives it the truth. And while it's an interesting thought experiment to consider that it's been replaced, we use it in much the same way. I feel very much that it is still the same ship, the legend that brought the Dragon Lords here.
The man comes up. "You said truth. Are you so arrogant to define what truth is?"
Oh, no. We all are. We all have our truths that we cling on to and presume to be common sense, and yet So many people break common sense. We feel these to be truths in our heart of hearts. However, it's the actual expression of these truths that give rise to our interactions, give rise to our society, and that in turn is what defines the world around us. Because everyone calls this the valorous, then it is.
Not everybody
but-
does. I do not. I deny the fact that it
no.
is. And what do we do if my
My
truth
dear
is different
sir,
to your
are
truth?
you telling this young woman here that her son is no longer hers
Yes.
because he's 3 foot taller and now has a little bit of chest hair? Is that what you're telling this young woman?
No,
I
no,
think
no.
you're entirely wrong, and
No,
you know
of
you are,
course.
and you just said no, no, no. Let's settle with that. Moving on. Anybody else?
Machion, the half-orc, says, well, seems it is your prerogative. You're the guest lecturer, as it were, Silas. Is it the same vessel, or is it different?
In the hearts and minds of the people that created this vessel and that continue the memory of this vessel, it will always be the Valorous.
So be it. Another person, another magic user, but not allowing his name to be copy and pasted, so I'm going to have to type it. A half elfin noble, and once again dressed in clothing indicative of a wizard. It is. Oh, you are. The stories of your intelligence, Silas, are not to be overstated. Perhaps I might provide another question, if you'd be so kind as to indulge me, Mr. Silas.
I might say I am tiring. Perhaps you would like to ask one of my friends.
Well, all of your friends are welcome to give their 2 cents. We've just heard legends of your intelligence, but we've also heard legends of the wisdom of Damas, for example, and the charisma of Particles, and all sorts of Proteus, and or legends, all sorts. But all your opinions are welcome. And Alcobolo, even though you're not here, feel free to engage in these debates if you so choose, because they are interesting topics. So feel free to put in your 2 cents as well.
Oh, I will, thank you.
Okay. So my question, Silas, you can answer it or defer if you like. Pythor is in a foot race with a tortoise. Pythor allows the tortoise a head start of 300 feet. If we suppose that each runner starts running at some constant speed, one very fast and one very slow, then after some finite time, Pythor will have run 300 feet, the length of the race, bringing him to the tortoise's starting point. During the time, the tortoise has run a much shorter distance of only 30 feet. It will then take Pythor some further time to catch up to those additional 30 feet, by which time the tortoise will have moved even further ahead. It takes Pythor more time to reach the third point, while the tortoise continues to maintain his lead. Thus, whenever Pythor arrives somewhere the tortoise has been, he still has some distance to go before he can catch the tortoise, despite running much faster. Clearly this means Pythor will never catch the tortoise. How do you explain this paradox?
My dear sir, you lost me out of pure boredom. This is a matter of wisdom or intelligence or indeed charisma. I ask you to pass this on to any one of my 2 friends here. I leave it up to you. Any one of my 3 friends here. Should you wish my input, please continue. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit down.
Don't ask me either. I thought he was talking about foot rest the whole time, not a foot race. So I'm lost.
Should I perhaps have a stab at this? I look to your name, and I see your name might be loosely translated as the small stone, possibly of copper. For that, and the small stone has me thinking of an ancient way of counting called the calculus. You have said that in the time that elapses where Pythor attempts to catch the foot race with the tortoise has moved on. What you have stated is that in each time the time frame becomes smaller and smaller and smaller. So in effect, what you're saying is no movement is possible at all, in which case it makes no sense for you to have said that that they have changed position at all. I believe there was an ancient philosopher called Zeno, and a friend of his, Heraclitus, who perhaps best tried to discover this, to wonder if change was possible at all. And the way you say it, it would seem to imply that no change is ever possible. But I ask you, I beseech you, as a person who uses his senses, to look around you and say, do things remain the same in the same place, or do they move? Do you experience time? Do things change? And if I was to restate the question and say, instead of Pythor traveling for the distance for 300 meters to catch up with the tortoise, what if we said, how long would it take Pythor to have run the 400 meters? How long would it have taken the tortoise to have run 100 meters? In which case, Pythor would have run further in a shorter period of time than the tortoise in the same amount of time. So clearly, Pythor was always in the lead by your own logic.
Well, you see, this is why I've asked you to explain this paradox. Plainly, Pythor is going to beat the tortoise. Plainly, he's 10 times faster. But my logic in stating this problem, I believe, is flawless. Hence the paradox.
Perhaps you should invest in a sundial. I find it quite helpful for keeping time. Then one could, in fact, see time. Or perhaps if you observe this string and the small plumb bob that I have and see how it swings backwards and forwards in a regular manner. If you watch
Are you hypnotizing them?
Well, I could, but in this case here, let us consider the sands through the hourglass. Anyone want to finish the quote?
Days of our lives, as it were. Well, you're pointing out the obvious. And yes, time progresses in a forward direction. Yes, distance is a finite thing. Yes, Pythor will beat the tortoise. Those things I am not disputing. What I'm disputing is my logic is also flawless. By my logic, Pythor will never catch the tortoise, and yet Pythor plainly does. How do we resolve the paradox?
By experiencing it in real life.
Ask Pythor, ask the tortoise how they feel about this.
Well, this is a thought experiment.
I have heard of a far-off land where there lives a mythical creature called a sphinx that said that life sometimes is viewed backwards. We never know what is going to happen in the future, but we always know what has happened in the past, and that is because that is the direction we look. So if I look at your logic there, Pythor has already won the race before he started. He's ahead. He is 300 feet ahead of the tortoise.
No. By the time he gets 300 meters, the tortoise has moved on.
But
he runs another 30 meters, the tortoise has moved on. He runs the remaining 3 meters, the tortoise has moved on.
If by magical cunning we were to play back that scene, but in reverse, with him starting 300 meters in front, and the tortoise 300 feet. Sorry, no meters. I know we're in metros, but you're still.
What's a meter?
Aren't we?
Yeah.
Meter. Yeah. We're in metros. We're meant to be doing things imperially. So if we played the scene backwards, then as life is actually lived, we know what has happened in the past. We do not know what's happening in the future. Whether he's won the race or not.
Backwards with my illusion. Minor illusion? Is that beyond its ability?
I don't know, but let's say you can. Let's say you can.
Okay. Well, gentlemen, this is what my friend here is saying. Ladies, gentlemen, and theys and thems. This is what my friend is saying. And he uses his magic to portray everything that, quite frankly, the player, Albert, is lost, but Silas understands to a T. And he like as if it was a film in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
A 3D film, like Star Wars. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're playing
This
the
is what
scene
we're
backwards.
talking about. Yeah.
So we're going to watch Star Wars now?
If Albert had a choice, yes. But Silas is proving a point.
Okay, so they're
Should anybody contest what we see before us?
So is the conclusion that I say is that your logic is not flawed in the sense that if we were to play the universe back again against itself, looking into the past, the one thing that we can know, that we can trust, is the past, what we have seen has happened, and not know what is happening in the future necessarily, then we know that Pythor has already won the race.
Well, I agree. Pythor would win the race.
Especially
He's 10 times
when I
faster
do it.
than the tortoise.
No, he
Again,
started in the lead.
Well,
He was
regardless,
always in the lead.
I agree. He wins the race, no doubt. Forwards, backwards, running back through times, absolutely. But when he gets to 300 feet, the tortoise has moved 30 feet away. So Pythor runs the remaining 30 feet. Now the tortoise has moved on 3 feet during that time. So Pythor runs the 3 feet. And this is where the imperial system breaks down. By that time, the tortoise has moved on another 0.3 feet. So Pythor runs the 0.3 feet. By that time, the tortoise has moved another 0.03 feet. Pythor, therefore, will never catch the tortoise.
That's not what my illusion spell is saying.
Hence the paradox. I mean, plainly
Paradox
this...
of time. It is a paradox of time which suggests no change is ever possible. Yet plainly we see that change is possible. And that what you're suggesting is that they would appear that the tortoise would always be in the lead if time were to stand still. So at the beginning of the race it was ahead, and at any point in the past, if we would look back, it was always in the lead. So it has always won. So that presents the paradox that it is always won, as opposed to always having lost when we allow the flow of time. So instead
When I
of
run-
about the distance that they travel, let us talk about the time that has been taken. And as soon as we said that...
Let us not talk about distance and time. Let us talk about running through the fields, running through the hills. When I, Okabola, run, I take off from a standing start and blow down a hill and gain a surge of speed, accelerate, and then as I hit a steep incline, decelerate. I run fast, I run slow. There is no you run this much, this fast for this amount of time. That is purely a measurement of how long it is taking you to get from here to there. It does not account for the fact that you're running. You're fucking running.
Ladies,
It isn't
gentlemen,
the running,
theys and thems,
you've running that this is solved.
you've heard the logic, and you've heard the heart from Okobolo. And both of them point towards my friend's been right.
This is not a
I
matter
lay it
of
upon
who
the
is
table.
right
Make
and
your-
who is wrong. It is a matter of
Indeed,
resolving
which is
this
why I laid it
paradox.
on the table as
Well, the paradox,
make your
paradox
own
surely
choice.
is that you have suggested that the time for each event becomes smaller and smaller and smaller until the time itself becomes infinitesimally small. So it is not a paradox, but time does not slow. Time does not stop. The swing of the pendulum, the sands through the grains, the grains of sand through the hourglass continue to flow. And
These are the days of our
dropping
lives.
into a river One never steps into the same river twice. The water that you stand in has flowed on, flowed back to the sea, been lifted into the air, returned as rain, fallen to the grounds, flowed through the fields, and again rejoined the river. But that river has changed its course, altered the world, and travelled on.
You said the word
I'm sure I had a
infinitesimal
point
time. An infinitesimal amount of increments. Would it therefore take an infinity of time to resolve this race?
No,
Yes.
that is what we have. We have an infinity of time. We have all of time.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
all of it.
Pythor will be chasing the tortoise for the rest of eternity.
If we keep talking like this, he will. There is no small slice.
And indeed, what were the regulations of the race? To run the furthest, to run the fastest, or to get to the finish line first? None of these have been laid out.
For Pythor to catch the tortoise.
I think that's because Pythor was probably hungry, knowing him.
Probably a little drunk too. Well, I'm not sure we've gotten anywhere to resolving this paradox. Everything you say is true. By any measure, Pythor will beat the tortoise. Will catch the tortoise, in fact. But by my logic, he will never catch the tortoise. And perhaps this is the point of debate, not to come to sort of some esoterical truth, but to run your minds through a thought experiment of sorts. So I do thank you for your participation in this philosophical question. Unless anybody has any more thoughts, my colleague Kara.
Might I add that there is philosophical debate and there is real life debate. In philosophical debate, we can play with all we want. But in real life debate, we face some genuine. And then Silas begins to go off about some things that are happening in the world and that face us, like Pythor and the 5 temples. I'm just cutting it short just because otherwise I could go on forever. Temple of the 5 and how that is under threat, and how the Temple of Lithuria is doing some things. Real life debate. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to discuss more right here, right now, real life debates and who we support. I'm not saying that philosophical debate is wrong, but we're at a crossroads and we need to start drawing lines and saying no. I'll leave you with that.
Saying
By the
no
way,
to what?
we are competing in the game. No to what's her name? Lithuria and all the bad people in the world, and he names them all. And then he says, you know, we're going to be in the games. See us there. Shit's going to rock. Not his words. I'm just trying to keep it short. You know, all that sort of things.
As you do this, a tiefling pipes up and says, "What's wrong with worshipping Sidon? We have freedom of religion in this. We came here for a decent debate. Now you're throwing politics into it? Praise be to Lutheria.
And that's why you're not dead, because we have freedom of religion. But
Praise be to the 5, says somebody
would probably
else.
kill everybody. Sorry, what
Sidon
is
is great. He should be worshipped." And the
that?
students
Oh, I have no
start-
doubt that Sidon has great power. It's what one does with that power that we should be arguing.
and
Real
this-
life debate.
And this rather simple debate has all of a sudden, with Silas's speech, turned into a bit of a yelling match. The odd punches
Okay, so roll
thrown.
for initiative then, is it?
Well, what do you do? The pro
Silas
5
will
god
sing again.
stance has not gone as
Silas will
bad
begin
play.
to sing again to bring everybody to calm down and all that sort of thing.
Make a
using
performance
his...
check. Using your enthrall?
Yeah.
Okay, for flavour though, roll me a
Emotions?
Not bad.
24. Why don't I get that?
I'm not saying that Pythor is not powerful and all-seeing and all that sort of thing. Somehow in the song, but is what one chooses to do with that power and all-seeingness and totalitarianism
Fists
that may or may not be wrong.
stop flying. Well, it's just a small, there's always those dickheads who want to turn a heated argument into throwing fists. There's always those people. But they calm down and they listen to you.
And then he begins to explain himself in talkie talk.
Okay, what are you explaining to yourself in talkie talk?
That Sidon poses a threat as a totalitarianist and his people, and the powers that support him. Sorry, not his people, but the powers that support him, to the very democracy that we hold so dear within royal bounds in Mitros.
One of the students pipes up and says, Silas, what is the nature of good and evil? Are they metaphysical properties that can be measured or changed?
I don't want to discuss the metaphysical or the unphysical. I want to discuss the real for one moment in the history of this academy. And
utilitarian philosophy.
He goes on to explain himself directly towards the points of matter in a utilitarian philosophical, that's not the right word, kind of a way. I just don't have the 5 hours to go through that.
Okay, so you're basically saying, screw all this talks about metaphysical property, natures of good and evil, paradoxes.
No. I appreciate them. I dig it. I'm with you, because these things need to be discussed. But for 5 minutes, give me your time. And let's discuss some real, right now stuff that's happening in Mitros, that's happening in our world. Give me 5 minutes. Think about 5 minutes.
Is Silas turning his chair around the other way and sitting down on it?
Oh, probably. Oh, he's that kind of cock. Yeah, he probably would. Fuck. Yeah.
So
yes, he is.
Call me Silas, not Mr. Wingbat. Call me Silas, right?
Yeah. That sort of shit.
I'm your friend. I'm not your teacher. Okay. Yeah. So, Silas, what's the essence of what you're trying to say? I know you don't probably want to give a 5-minute speech. So what are you trying to? What's the point you're trying to get across?
He's saying, me and my friends are going to put everything we have on the line, and sometimes that's what we have to do. We're going to put ourselves on the line. Not only are we going to put ourselves on the line at the games, but we have put ourselves on the line regularly before these games even happened. We've saved lives. Sometimes we've failed, by the way. But mostly, we've done it because it's something we strongly believe in, and because there are things that are wrong in Mitros, let alone the greater world, that need to be rectified. And me and my friends can do that. And there are real things that are happening now, that are happening today, that are living and breathing outside of all this wonderful philosophy that absolutely needs to be discussed, but not in the next 5 minutes. There's a war, and one of them is Sidon, and the other is Mitros, and he spits out some other gods that he can never remember.
Kyra's heartbroken,
and
by the way.
World...
You can't remember her name.
Sorry?
Kyra's heartbroken. That you can't
I mean, he actually literally does remember her name, but Albert can't. Yeah, he just lays it all on the line. Where do you stand as... Sorry? Oh, it's just that whole...
recently?
No, he's been getting pissed off for a while. And he's just laying it all on the line now.
I just thought that might explain the name Asia.
Oh yeah, that might have been what happened. He died almost a couple of times as well. Because I've laid my life. I'm not just talking. I'm talking about my life. My good friend pointed out something serious. I'm not just talking about philosophy and things that might happen. I'm talking about things that did happen and things that I did with my life and almost lost it.
The young lady...
Preach, brother, preach.
The young lady.
That's what he's doing. He's going flat out.
The young lady who has the 10-year-old boy, she stands up and says, I agree with everything you said, Mr. Wingbat, but I have a young son, and I agree that we need to put these things outside of the academia to get a little practical. What can I practically do? I mean, Sidon has said he's going to destroy the world. I cannot understand why anybody would worship him. What can I do? You are great. You have defeated boars. You have relit the forge. What can I do, a young lady with a young son? I feel powerless. What can I do?
He begins by saying to her, that is a wonderful question, and I will answer that. And while he's saying that, he sends a message out to everybody. Fuck, what can we do?
Okabola messages back. Just in everything that you do, feel the impact of your actions upon everyone, not just yourself and your family, but know that if you act justly, and with the okay, all that. Forget all that. Sorry, that was really long. Just create community where you can.
Create community. That's a good starter. Anybody else?
No.
She's taking notes.
He's remembering this because it's all happening at once, isn't it? Please, dear God, it all happened at once.
So create a community, okay. And you're saying just basically be a decent person?
We begin by creating a community. And that comes with our voice. As you are not just one young woman. You are many, many young women. This gentleman over here points to somebody and then says, you are not just one young man. You have your friends, your family. Yeah, like he is trying to preach this shit like a mofo, given it everything he's got. Not the way that Albert can, but like sure. Silas might be able to, being intelligent and charismatic. So yeah, he begins with that. Anything else, guys? Anything else? In message?
I think there is the principle of don't be a dick to others.
And I will finish
treat
this.
them as you would expect to be treated. Think next time you go to buy a Minotaur.
I will finish this with something that concerns me deeply. Very deeply. It begins with something quite frivolous, one might argue. Don't be a dick. I mean, seriously, don't be a dick. Do not treat others the way you don't want to be treated.
Ooh.
Sidon doesn't ask that of anybody. Because he doesn't ask. He just does. No matter what. At least Mitros and the 5 gods, they might ask first. And finally, shit, what was that thing you said, bro? Don't be a dick.
Create community where you can.
I've said that.
Read books. Eat
The
fiber.
golden rule, do unto
Exercise.
others as you have them
Good
do unto you.
kids.
Be good to your mother.
Be good to your mum. Okay, and finally, if anything means anything, support me and my brethren in the game.
Yes.
And he stretches his wings out and unleashes a vocal melody, which lyrically means nothing, but sounds amazing.
Like yodeling?
Yeah, like support my friend, something of that nature. I don't know.
Well, okay. Well, you've given the students a lot to think about, and the professors as well. Professor Machion, the half-orc mage who introduced you, said, well, this is very different to how I saw things happening. This is quite different. You've given us a lot to think about. Silas, Particles, Proteus, Damus, and that voice in your head that we heard from Okobola. You've given us plenty to think about. Not at all how I saw these debates going.
I ask you, what's his name? Sorry, Macross.
Machion.
Machios? Machion. I ask you, Machion. Is it time for the shades of grey in this moment in history to be done? We are working no longer in the shades of grey. We're witnessing, we are feeling this. And everything right now in this moment of history, for however long this moment lasts, is the black and the white. Do away with the shades of grey, and he says this to the students, and embrace what you know, what is right in your heart. This is what I ask you today. This is not a shade of grey. And then within the Great Academy, I'm ashamed of myself for saying this. But I dare say we are facing our what do the Ukrainians call it? We are at a this is about our very existence. This is about your very existence. This is no longer about the shades of grey. Do you, your children, your grandchildren, want a name, or do you want to be gone? The black and the white. It's existential. That's the word I was looking for. This is existential. Today I ask you this, and I leave you with that. And he drops a mic, if he had one, and walks off the stage.
The students stand up and give you a thunderous applause. As you leave the stage, several of the professors just pat you on the back, try to shake your hand. And your thoughts go back to what Vala said, how this is a very politically charged city. By your great words, Silas, you have swung things ever so slightly, and that's all you can ever hope for, ever so slightly, back in the favour of the five gods. And you hear people talking about, oh shit, he's right, this what we do now and here matters. Once the oath of peace ends and all hell breaks loose, we all stand firm with our communities, we all stand up to our oppressors. It seems you've even maybe started the seeds of a revolution.
The child who plucked his feather,
Yep.
gave him his feather back, I assume.
Yeah.
And he hands that feather to the young woman with the 10-year-old child.
She blushes deeply and says a quiet thank you under her breath. She's a bit overwhelmed.
Cool. He's done.
Oh, that was amazing, Silas/Albert. Very cool.
Too much. If only I wasn't reverberating, it would have sounded way better.
So Machion, once things have settled down, he says, well, thank you for your time, Silas and Damus and everybody else. We truly appreciate your time. Is there something we can do in return?
My dear sir, could you tell me, my friends will ask you some other questions, but personally, I need to know how to get my hands on a cloak of invisibility.
Cloak of invisibility.
Or if there's something in this library that might point towards that.
Well, I happen to be a bit of an expert in magical construction. I know the recipe, but I lack the skill. Most of the ingredients are common. You'll need a mere 300 gold pieces. You'll need a golden fleece from a golden creature. Not your sheep, ram, something like that. There are islands, it is rumoured, in the Cerulean Gulf that have such creatures. And I'm not sure how you'd get the last piece of this. An orb of star metal.
No.
You get those things, and you get someone who is skilled enough to make them, and the cloak of invisibility.
I know someone.
removes. And that person would be?
Okay.
Yeah, that's the name he removed.
Vulcan. Vulcan is the god of the forge. And when you associate god of the forge, you think of swords and armor and axes and suits of armor. But he is the god of the forge for a reason. He can use the fires that now light the mithril mines to construct items of such delicacy as a cloak of invisibility. So you get
So I need the god or goddess of the banana sewing machine?
I'm not sure what this Bonita is. I heard there's a famous company in this place
That
called
was our wit.
New Zealand called Trevina's Boninas. Always a good name, I thought. Yes, he's quite the expert. Yes, Vulcan can do that. You get him 300 gold pieces.
Oh, okay,
Not for
cool.
profit. A golden fleece and an orb of star metal. And he can construct you the cloak. As I said, creatures in the Cerulean Gulf, the Cerulean Ocean, bear the golden fleece. And money is easy enough to come by, for you at least.
Sorry, what was the name of that? I'm just punching that in now.
The name of what?
The name of where these golden fleece might be?
Just one of the islands potentially in the Cerulean Gulf.
Yeah.
Cerulean Gulf Islands.
So we have to get the Ultros anyway to have any hope of navigating those treacherous seas, since Lord Sidon has raised many a storm to dash any mere mortal boats.
Yep. So it's a Cerulean Gulf there. So she says there's rumoured such creatures roam in the Cerulean
Yes,
Gulf.
I've seen that.
Yep.
Yep.
And as was pointed out, you can't get there because Sidon will just smash your boat unless you had an unsinkable boat. Something like, I don't know, the Ultros. And you also know the Forgotten Sea is very much Sidon's domain. That is even harder to get to. But more useless without the Ultros. So that's what you
My
need.
mum's
Look
down
in one
there.
of these islands. Yes, and yeah.
My mum's down there somewhere as well, bro.
Mm.
Ah. Well,
Yes,
you have lots of reasons to go there then.
I have a reason too, actually.
Indeed.
Is it to work on your tan?
Just from the waist up. Sure. But no. Looking for a particular isle. More about that later. I'll let you guys know when the time's
No, spit it out, Proteus. What do you need, man? We're here to help you.
To be honest with you, I'm still trying to piece together my memories from before I got ripped in half. So I'm hoping the memories will come back to me soon.
True. Yeah, that only happened like a few days ago, bro. That was like pretty shit.
Yeah.
Are you feeling okay?
No, I feel a bit dumber.
Bit dumber. Are you having any other ill effects? Do you feel yourself at all, or any intrusive thoughts?
Well, I haven't had an erection in 3 days. I was kind of hoping we might find a cure for that.
I noticed you don't wear pants, so what we've all noticed.
Yeah, it could be nerve damage. I'm not sure, but yeah.
And just for on the topic of things you need to do, is everybody clear about what they need to do next for their particular path?
No, I've in real life, I've actually forgotten.
Okay.
I thought I wrote in my notes, but I apparently haven't. So I was like, oh dear.
Okay, we'll do a quick summary then.
I believe I'm still in search of my brother, plus also a fabled pearl of wisdom that might allow me to locate a hidden treasure and allow me to find my way home.
Okay. I'm just going to go through this in the order that I have it. So, Okobolo, your next task is to forge the mighty weapon. And I believe I've given you the recipe for that. Have I given you the recipe for that?
I think you did, like, way back in the day.
Okay.
So if you want to resend it, it'd be fantastic. But
yeah, so your granddad said, I can create you a mighty weapon, but you're going to have to come up with 20,000 GP.
20,000.
Yeah.
My one's way cheaper.
And also an orb of star metal. And Vulcan said, if you provide me with these things, I can create you a weapon that would make the Titans tremble. So you're on a collection quest, and who's next on my list?
So, sorry, what was the middle thing between 20,000 and orb?
I put it
Magical
in roll
sword.
20. Any magical sword and an orb of star metal. Just look at roll 20 in the chat there. You'll see it.
Right.
I've got a magical sword of sorts.
Thank you.
That's right. And Silas, the doomed one. Let me just look up doomed one. Why am I not seeing it? Okay. So you met Demetria in the Mossy Temple, and you were instructed by Versi, the oracle, to talk to her, and she said she doesn't know much, but the fates can tell you more. Okay, so you need to seek out the fates. 3 fabled ladies.
Shit, I'm on the wrong target.
Yep.
I thought it was all to do with the invisible thing. Shit, I missed that one. Fates can tell me more.
No, so you need to seek out the fates, who also reside somewhere in the Cerulean Ocean. So you need to talk to the fates and say,
library.
And what's up?
Okay, yep.
Okay, who's next on my list? Particles, the lost one. The lost one. Where is it gone? Vanished.
I believe it's a magical pearl of not wisdom, but it will allow me to locate my brother.
Oh, sorry. Wait a sec.
Well, I'm going back to my notes now.
The Pearl of Power, they're pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. So
Amulet of Seeing. Was it? Nope.
the Gem of Seeing.
I think you might have originally told me an
It's
Amulet
an
of
amulet.
Seeing
We just
anyway.
did it as an amulet. Yeah. One other of your
my brother
possessions, is Estor Acrolander has it.
Sure.
So you made your deal. If you rescued his daughter from the being sacrificed to Sidon, when he did, Python reveals that Estor Acrolander was last in the possession of the treasure. So you need to talk to Estor Acrolander. Okay, Kyle, the haunted one, or Proteus, the haunted one in particular. When you attune to the artifact that you got off Demetria, she told you that one of your other family artifacts was held by the Queen of the Amazons. So you must seek out the Queen of the Amazons. Because you remember, nobody remembers your family. They've been erased from existence. And so these family artifacts take on particular meaning to you. And Demetria told you to seek out the Queen of the Amazons, who has your other one.
Now, I remember something else, Malcolm, about an island or something in the sea. Do you remember what that was? I had to...
Well, that'll be where the Amazons are, yeah?
Yeah.
Is that true? Did I know that much? So I told the name of the place?
Yep, you need to go to the island of the Amazons, where the Queen of the Amazons resides, and once again, she's in the Cerulean Gulf. So once again, a good reason to get the Ultros. Okay.
Right, cool. I thought it was all good.
Now, the gifted one.
They are retired from our play group at the moment.
Gifted?
No, that's Damas.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Damas. Yes.
We don't no longer have the cursed one or the dragon slayer. They've retired.
Oh, I thought you were related to a dragon lord. Sorry, my mistake. Carry on.
Yeah, the gifted one is the dragon lord one.
Oh, okay. Carry on then.
Yeah.
You're the gifted one, Gerald, and you'll always be the gifted one, bro. To me.
Oh, thank you. Your presence is a present. Gift of the gab. As far as I know, I've got a locket from my grandmother. Lutheria is stink, and I've got my crown of dragon stuff. That I can actually, once I find an egg and 5,000 Skrilla, I should be able to bond a dragon with me. I think that's my understanding of what I need to do.
That is the correct understanding, but let me just say more will be revealed.
Yeah,
all
I
I'll
figured as
say
much.
now.
Yep, cool. So yeah, just that. I can bond with a dragon when I find a dragon egg, and get revengy from my grandmother.
Yeah. A lot of you have beef with Lutheria, and lots of stuff to do in the Cerulean Ocean for lots of reasons. I mean, I think there's 20 islands, maybe a little less than that are possible to explore. So we'll get there in due time, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Is this going to be a 5-year campaign, Malcolm?
nope. We'll put it this way.
Can it be a 5-year campaign, please?
When the people who did like a classic fundraiser for this, what's it called when you ask for money online? The Kickstarter. They did a Kickstarter for this, and they raised crap loads more than they needed. And so they extended the story a little bit more than they had originally did. I don't want to tell you where the story goes, but put it this way. You're almost at the end of Chapter 3. Chapter 4, I don't even know why it's a chapter. There's nothing for you to do in Chapter 4. But this goes up to Chapter 12.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah, Chapter 4 is just some notes. There's no real adventure to be had in Chapter 4. It's just setting up some lore. But then 5, 6,
see what I can do about that.
19, 11, 12.
feels like 2 years. Yeah, I'm here for
a year?
Well,
9 months to a year? That's what my brain was saying.
Well, by my count, keeping careful notes on all your sessions, of course. This is session number 16.
16 with probably another
Oh, that's only like
10 weeks.
We've had quite a number of weeks off, but
Yeah.
we're getting into a good rhythm now.
Yeah, cool.
So maybe a year?
I don't know.
No, I mean game time. I was thinking game time. Sorry. Fiction time.
Oh, fiction time. Oh, it's only been maybe 3 weeks. The time you slid the boar, so not much time in game time.
Really? Far out. I was going way longer.
Just long enough for our characters to really, really get to know each other, which is pretty cool.
In the city, they're falling apart. Awesome. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So adventures to be had.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
what's
I don't know if I've showed you this. This is the book we're doing. If you look at my video, Odyssey of the Dragon Lord.
Oh, cool. It's an actual book, yeah.
It's an actual book. Yeah. That's how actually thick it is. This is the one I'm running with my other games. Like,
What's that one?
It's called Crown of the Oathbreaker. It's crazy big. I've literally tripped over on this book. Hit it with my foot and tripped over. And it's just gorgeous.
Wow.
Mark, give me the Bible. It's shorter.
Oh, let's see, it is. 914 pages long.
So shall we skip
Oh
to
my
that if we
God.
break our oaths? If we break our oaths, do we skip on to that?
Well,
True.
both are fantastic adventures. I rate them both.
Yeah.
Asking me to choose between them and like asking a parent to choose a favourite child, right? You just can't. It's a nonsensical question.
But really, it's easy, but we just won't say it.
Oh, really? I like that one. That guy's a bit of a shit, but I have to say I loved it evilly. Okay. That's a bit of an aside. What would you like to do as you leave
I'd
the
like
Great
to-
Academy?
Oh, well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to research the books to see if there was any material on potentially removing the immortality from the captain of the Ultras.
Okay, make me
Freeing him from his.
an investigation check as you look up particular ways of ending Esther Arcalander's eternal life.
When
and
Dharma
I
said
was-
that, can I help him with the role? Or I don't know how, but
You can help.
Well,
you
I'm
can
gonna-
help if you have proficiency in the skill.
If you have
I'm
proficiency in
a
investigation.
researcher by trade as my backstory skill. So, in terms of investigating in libraries and finding history, I'm good with Arcana and history itself. So I can do a history check with you if that would help.
An investigation check, yes, you can do it given your background.
I can't help
So
you.
this would be a history or Arcana check for this.
Oh, it's
Go,
investigation.
good.
You're looking through a library. Oh, well, there we go.
Oh,
So, you look up, go into great detail about the scholars researching what the hell to do about Esther Arcalander. Everybody hates him, because, genocidal maniac and all that. Everybody wants a way to get rid of him. So you find a lot of treatises about ways to end it. And the two possible ways that come up is, number one, defeat Lutheria. I mean, she's the one who granted him the power. If you kill this godlike figure, then the curse would end and he would just die. The second way is almost, and it's not killing him, but is making him powerless. The academics theorize that he is now more a wandering soul than an actual person. He's more ghost-like than anything. The research theorize that if you could get him to possess some creature and then incapacitate that creature, then Esther Arcalander would be trapped in that creature. So those are the two ways that are revealed with an excellent investigation of 24. So get him to take over a person and then restrain that person somehow. That would be two ways of defeating it. Kill the goddess or trap him in a body and then you trap the body.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to research the Ultras? Is that right?
That was part of these. I'll
Yes, so
give
we
you some
definitely-
guidance for this, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Particles,
want
what are you
investigation
researching
again?
in particular?
So you've already shown us a picture of the boat, so we know what the boat looks like. We were hoping to find any clues about whether this location, the one that you showed us on the map, the Dead Falls. So I want to find information about the Dead Falls to see if this is a place that's, for example, connected to the sea, so that a boat could in fact be parked there. Say, for example.
Okay.
It didn't look like it was directly connected to the sea on the map.
Okay, make an investigation check. I think someone gave you
Yeah,
guidance,
That's
so
a good.
roll a d4
I gave you
onto
some
that.
guidance.
Oh, you want me to roll a d4?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gave you guidance. Oh,
4.
So 13, okay. Well, first of all, you do some research on the Dead Falls themselves. They're called the Dead Falls because it's a massive waterfall and it falls into a great hole with complete silence. Like normally you hear the sound of like water crashing on rocks, but it just kind of gets sucked up into this void. And it's really off-putting because it's a massive waterfall that's more or less silent. So that's kind of odd. And you wonder how a ship could exist in endlessly falling waterfall. You're not sure. And the best you can come up with a 13 is that it's a magical ship. How that magic might manifest, how practically it would get out, you don't know. So,
Thank you.
not as much information, of course, because you didn't roll quite as well. But that's what you learn.
Ooh. Anything else that
Right,
we
is
want
it-
to research?
you wanted,
Well,
Passion?
Yeah, could we maybe I want to look up about this isle of the, you said the Amazonians or Amazons? Which one was it?
The Amazons, island of
Amazons.
Yeah. Yeah. Do we learn anything about the Amazons, maybe their queen? I assume they have a queen. And where exactly in the sea of whatever the name was they might be located. And are they hostile people? What do we know about this culture?
Okay.
I'd like to
Make
search
an
that. So I
investigation
want to
check.
go. I'll just go over to.
And are they
I
hot?
forget my-
Really? That's the question.
I forget my Dewey Decimal System, but whatever that. Okay, investigation.
I'll give you guidance.
Yeah, please.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You at least
I don't know
find
if
a
it's gonna
picture
make
ball.
I don't know if it's going to make much difference. I'm
Oh,
looking
dear.
at Z instead of A.
Okay. Well, what's your guidance? Natural one doesn't necessarily fail. It's not an automatic failure, but it's not good, of course.
What is it, D4?
D4. Yep.
Again, it was another one. Oh, 2.
5. The only thing you find is a picture of an Amazonian. And that's all I'll give you.
Hubba, hubba.
Oh, from the cover.
Oh, yes, from the player's guide. Yeah.
Cover.
Yeah.
Oh, looks good.
You do notice one thing I'll give you, if you haven't noticed it already.
She looks like that
This
woman
is
from
a-
Community.
What's that bird thing?
Well, the bird thing is a mechanical thing. If you look closely, it's made of metal.
Okay.
Hey, Amazons are using freaking. This is what Silas is thinking. Amazons are using metallic wings.
Ha! Yeah.
Yeah.
Metallic familiars.
That's
It's
your
like
pet.
the AI thing, bro. You should go and
Oh,
try.
metallic familiar. Oh, sorry. I misinterpreted.
Yeah, it does kind of look like she's got wings, but it's the wing of the metal dragon-looking thing.
Ah,
There
As
we
you
go.
were.
So with a natural 1, with a 5 total, you find a picture of the Amazonians. That's it.
All right. I'm a little bit closer.
You find a
Did
picture
that
book.
help with your original?
It was more like a leaflet pamphlet than a picture book.
There we go.
Anyone else?
No, I'm
Silas
fine.
during this time is having a drink with our friend, the half-orc,
Sure.
whose name Albert's forgotten, but I think his name started with M.
Machion.
Machion.
Yeah, if he invites him to a drink, and maybe we should just have a drink and talk about things in the afternoon and
Sure.
life and love and all that sort of thing. Cool.
So while
He
everybody
just
else
wants
is
to get the lay of the
researching...
land.
Yeah.
Yeah, Silas's research is the lay of the land, and can the Temple of the Five rise, and how best, while having a drink and getting him well terpsed, and Silas is actually, while he's at it, not really drinking hard, but he'll everyone, if indeed our half-orc, which I assume he drinks,
He does?
because he's a half-orc, he's having not even half, maybe a quarter of what the half-orc is drinking, which makes it human. And and making it, and even making those illusional with his, so he's taking shots, but they're illusional shots, if that makes sense.
Cool.
magic illusional.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to get the lay of the land and seeing, like, if you were to have a go at the house of the Temple of Lithuria, how would you do it? Those kind of questions. The smartest guy in Mythos. How would you do this thing?
Make a persuasion check with advantage as you're, as you said, feeding him the terps. And he is like 4 times your size, but still, obviously the goal is to get him drunk. Okay, so persuasion at advantage because he's 18.
Oh, geez, one of those was. Yep. That's better than average.
So, can you state your question? What's the question you want answered?
If one were to hurt the House of Lithuria without literally hurting people, okay, I want to take some children out of the House of Lithuria. I'm making sure he's well plastered before I say this, though. I want to take some children from the House of Lithuria. How might one best go about it? You're local. What know you?
He says...
Insight that he's with me. Insight that he's with me?
Sure.
Before popping that big one, actually, it just occurred to me.
Sure, roll me an insight.
Shit, insight.
Damn you, insight. 10.
Yeah.
So you're not sure if he's got a genuinely good idea or he's coming up with a random idea just to impress you. You're not sure.
Okay,
You're not sure.
I'm all in with the question.
What he says, though, is the best way to take down anything is their reputation. They get volunteers to the Temple of Lutheria based on their reputation. So striking a blow against their the way they do things, their reputation, would be the most devastating thing you could do against them. Like reveal lies that they tell. And he says to get children out. Their reputation, he says, is their shield. People just don't question it. As a result, there are no real guards at the Temple of Lutheria. So, unguarded, their shield is their reputation, and their reputation is also their vulnerability. And that's what he pontificates about.
I'd say to him, you know my friend Adrianos Chandrotas? Perhaps?
Just a sec. So it's simply fallen out of my head. Who was that again?
Oh, that's the dude that my contact at the the tavern.
Oh yes.
We got big history.
You've got no idea who that is. I mean, you get the impression like a classic academic. His whole life is academia. He just lives his whole life in the Great Academy. He never goes to the Stygian Row, the slums of the city. Why would he lower himself to such a place?
Yeah, I just popped that once to see how boring this guy was, and you're terribly boring. And not that he said that literally to him.
Of course.
Good. Let's drink some more. And he pops another illusional drink in my own hand and offers more to my friend. My new friend.
Okay, so he gets drunk. Research is done. The day is drawing towards a close. Okobola, you've done as much as you can given the daylight hours in terms of repairing Stygian Row. Do you guys meet up somewhere? Where do you meet up? What do you do?
Shall we go to the...
take lodgings again in the palace?
Well, the day is ended, but the night is young. Put it that way.
Shall we go to the pub?
Yeah.
Love to. I have an old friend to meet there.
The Satyr's Tail?
I've got new friends to meet there.
Oh, you will love my friend.
So once again, getting from the Great Academy is difficult with you being mobbed as you go. It gets particularly difficult as you enter the slum that is Stygian Row, because there's no real city planning here. You're walking through a maze of houses just to get anywhere. So progress gets very, very slow. But eventually, you push your way in to the Satyr's Tail. And it's a rowdy tavern. There's people yelling, screaming, jumping up and down. It is a very, very lively pub, as Malcolm quickly finds his notes. There we go. The Satyr's Tail. The interior of this crowded table is thick with smoke and various unpleasant smell. Many of the patrons appear to be half-orcs, while others are obviously sailors. And it is difficult to walk through the tavern without tripping over its many inebriated patrons. And even when you do step into the Satyr's Tail, your foot or your hooves or whatever you're wearing on your feet, they stick as if beer and spirits have been spilt on the ground and no one's ever had the time to pick them up. So the tavern is crowded, dirty, filthy, loud, but you found your way to the Satyr's Tail. And the whole rooms just smell of fish and unwashed bodies.
Mm-hmm. What do I know about my friend Adrianos? I assume we're pretty tight, yeah? That's assumption, I don't.
You recognize him in there?
Mm-hmm.
He's one of the rowdy people in this establishment.
Okay, I am. Well, Silas will move through the crowd. Also, Silas has plucked 10 feathers from his wings.
Okay.
And every now and again, he's holding on, they're in his pocket.
Sure.
Let's say. And he moves up to Adrianos, and he is my friend. It's been a while.
My friend, I do not know you. And he starts speaking to you in Thieves' Cant. Now, Thieves' Cant just sounds like you're having a normal conversation to the outside, but they're like hidden meetings within the words. So this is a special way that you know to communicate with Thieves' Cant. So in other words, Malcolm and Albert can have a conversation, but everybody else, it's just going to appear you're going to talking about the weather and the politics and what the best drink at the Satyr's Tail is.
Silas. It's going to be brown bread, not dead.
Maybe a version of Cockney rhyming slang. There we go.
Yeah.
The old meat pies.
Yeah.
Silas, a pleasant surprise. How can I help
apologies,
you, friend?
It's been a while since we had to talk like this, and sometimes I think I am, and I'm actually not.
Well, I'm surprised that you're so visible. I always knew you to be one who liked the shadows. Now here you are being followed by mobs within the city. Most unusual for you.
Can I talk to you personally on that one?
But of course.
I like it.
You like it?
I like it. I've never been so needed or wanted in my life. I didn't think that this was a thing that I would like.
It's a surprise. I always thought you'd like the shadows, but apparently not.
Oh, we can still do the shadows, my dear friend. We can absolutely do the shadows. And you know how. We are magical creatures.
But of course. I know we're not here to discuss your personal preferences. What is it that I can help you with, Silas?
I want to take some children from Lotheria. Can you help me? You had to think about it. You make me guess, my friend.
Well, I personally, shall we say, have a complicated relationship with the Temple of Lutheria. It's not what
How
you
much
think.
is that relationship worth to you? Is that what we're discussing?
Well, you know how these things work, Silas. You scratch my back, and I scratch yours.
Slightly off. This is entirely off target, Malcolm. You can say no to this. But to the both of us, you can totally say no to this. It just occurred to me when you said that. Would Silas and my friend here, are we ex-Lutheria? Like, is that a thing that could be? And no is fine.
You could be. You could be a former worshipper of Lutheria.
And I should have emailed you way earlier, but I didn't get around to it. Sorry.
Well, it's your choice, Albert. If you want Silas to be a former worshipper of Lutheria,
Are we both Are we both runaways? Is that how we hooked up?
Now it is.
Would be
You're
my
both
question.
runaways. Yeah, wanting to get back at the
Okay.
Temple of Lutheria for the teachings that they taught that you fundamentally
Yeah.
disagree with. Okay. Cool.
Cool. You know what we did, and you know why we ran.
All right.
And it's not just the two of us. There are more like us in there. And if we could... Oh, my friend, if you could feel what I'm feeling right now with people that adore me, people that I never thought would ever adore me. I was just some kid in a temple that hated me. And I ran, and I want to make this a thing for more children. Some of them will disagree, as we both know. But if we could figure this out between the two of us and my friends here, he's saying this entirely in cant, then are you with me?
Hi.
And could you tell me exactly what you have with the temple? Because otherwise, you are not with me. The two of us, we ran. Remember that.
Well, I've been... Strangely enough, the Temple of Lutheria is famous for the wine that it hands out. I'm, shall we say, the middleman of this wine operation. And let's just say that the wine that they're expecting to receive is not the wine they get. Let's just say I take a portion for myself and sell it to make some money. So working with Lutheria, no. Effectively stealing their wine, yes. That is my relationship with them. Now, you want to get children like us out of the temple. Some of the children will run, some of the children will stay. Who is who? I do not know. But I
Neither
know
do I. We know
somebody.
this.
I know if anybody knows, and then this person I'm going to mention might know. I must warn you, though.
Have they always known? Were there always children like us? And they never told us?
Well, put it this way. This person, her job is to know everything about everybody in the city. And she's got agents all around the place collecting information for her. So she would know who is who in the Temple of Lutheria. And she could, depending on how you approach her, she could solve your problem right at the source, do the operation for you, or give you enough information to do the job on yourself. But she'll ask for something in return.
Don't we all? We are both businessmen.
Are you interested in meeting this person? She is quite powerful and quite dangerous all at the same time.
I'm feeling you, aren't we both? Of the underworld. I think I know the answer. But before you say the answer, look around you. Is there anybody who might be able to tell what we're talking other than the two of us?
He looks around. I'm going to have you look around, though, mechanically. Make me an insight check.
Can I get perception?
Nope.
Insight sucks for me.
You look around and you're getting some sidelong glances, but you've been getting sidelong glances since you left the Grand Palace. Right. So.
Oh, my wings are out. This is the first time my wings have ever been out, by the way.
Okay. So you're getting people staring at you, but you're almost getting used to that. But no one appears, to be taking to be able to. No one's understanding what you're saying, and your thieves can't. So there we go. That's what you get for a 9. Albert, what's her name?
The Lady of Coins.
The Lady of Coins. Now, meeting with the Lady of Coins is not as simple as ringing her up.
We both know that. Could you organize it?
I could possibly organize it. Meet me back here about noon tomorrow, and I'll tell you what I've managed to arrange.
Right. Can I trust you? He asked while inciting him.
Okay, make another insight check.
Okay.
I'll say at advantage, since you know this guy.
Right. Well, I'll just do it twice.
Sure. 15 and a 5.
That
15.
is
Yeah, he hates Lutheria as much as you do. He hates everything she stands for.
He's the dude I've always known.
He's a dude you've always known, and this is seeming like a good way. Make a deal with the Lady of Coins. And he goes on to explain a little bit more about the Lady of Coins. And the best way Malcolm can describe her is think of her as the head of a mafia organization. Right? She's leaning on people, but she has the reputation of favoring the poor over the rich. Like if a rich person screws out a whole neighborhood out of money or something, can they expect to find their beloved horse's head in their bed, right? So think of her as the head of a mafia type group, almost
it's
like what's that cocaine guy? What's that guy?
Oh, Tony.
No, the real life guy. Had all those hippos.
Robin Hood.
What's his name?
Pablo
Escobar. Yeah, I'd compare it to Pablo Escobar, like completely ruthless, but he did give a lot of money to the poor. He did spread out his wealth.
Surprisingly, didn't narrow it down much. That was the horror of what you said.
Yeah, I was thinking of Escobar. Do you know that the hippos in
Hollywood, dude.
I think it's Colombia, somewhere, the hippos have bred and bred and bred, and now they're a noxious pest. There's so many hippos ravaging from these 2 hippos that Escobar imported.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I need a break. Yeah.
He'll finalize it. Silas will finalize it by saying something that means something really deep to both of us. I don't know whether it was the head lady who we both hated or something like that. And says something to end it with if it was the head lady, I don't know what our link is, but let this bitch never fucking raise her voice again, or the head guy, let this mofo never raise his voice again.
Sure.
Something that we both get in Thieves' Cant.
Sure.
Yep. And then I share everything with my friends and possibilities, etc.
The 2 people who you know and hate are twins. Their name is Drellus and Septia, and they are male and female twins. So they look similar, obviously twins, but male and female. And as you're wrapping up your talks with it, the barkeep comes up to you And he introduces himself as Julius. And he says, are you guys interested in sponsoring the Satyr's Tale? I can give you quite a bit of money if we can say the Satyr's Tale is the official drinking establishment of the Heroes of the Five.
You, my dear friend, need to talk about money with my friend here. Who's holding all our money and shit?
Particles.
Particles. With my friend here, Particles. At your will.
He says, well...
we all agreed that we would sponsor this fine establishment.
well,
We're happy that this adds to our legend.
Well, would 2,000 gold pieces sweeten the deal?
Oh, yes. Have it. Maybe chuck in a few free ales as well. Yeah.
Oh, all the alcohol you can drink. I can throw that in.
2,000 gold pieces? No way, that's way too much. I've only got 50 gold pieces.
No.
These
I-
dwarven skulls.
I pay
So I've
you.
got the bag of holding and show them the 25 dwarven skulls that I've got.
You
He's going to
misunderstand.
give us 2,000.
Yes,
We
I
gotta
pay
get-
you.
You what?
We're the sponsor. She's paying us 2,000 gold.
To drink here
For free.
Yeah.
on campus.
To have our names on the pub.
It would be It would be the Satyr's
Yeah.
Tale, official drinking establishment of the Heroes of the Oracle.
Right. Minotaur as well.
So we are all happy. Nobody has any moral objections to that.
Not moral, no.
Is there any vibe on whether it's a Lutherian pub versus a Temple of the Five pub, or is there no?
No affiliation.
No.
It's a place people get to go get drunk. There is no
Nice,
atmosphere.
only wine. Do they have red wine here? That's
Nope.
my only guess. No red wine, only ale.
I thought
can I-
the chap that you were speaking to traded wine.
And not in this establishment.
Oh, okay.
As you're contemplating this fantastic deal, I mean, holy crap, 2,000 gold pieces. A
Yeah.
woman
Yeah, I think so.
enters the pub, and she looks completely out of place. She's a siren, like Silas, and she's dressed with these flowing robes that are so thin and sheer that she's you can almost see through her clothes. It's just walking that fine line, and she's a strikingly beautiful woman. And she says, "Why would you want to associate yourself with such a downright dirty establishment as this? I can make you an offer of 2,500. You'd consider at least visiting my establishment." And Julius says,
Oh, yes.
"Get out of here, you! You are Jezebel of the night! Get out of here!" And she says, "Please, come with me."
Proteus is so torn.
Mate.
You were torn in half.
Too soon.
Well,
And-
my
5,000 for the
upper
visit,
half,
and then we
my
talk.
upper half wants to stay here, but my lower half wants to go with her.
And this is where we'll get to next
I
week.
had to briefly go toilet. What just happened? That we got offered a thing by a prostitute or something?
A
Something
guy,
like that.
well, I didn't say prostitute, but the guy offered you, the pub owner, 2,000 gold pieces, including free alcohol, as long as you associated your name with a Satyr's Tale. And I hope I describe Satyr's Tale to describe it's an absolute shithole. You fall over drunk people as you enter. Your hooves, your foot, whatever you're walking on gets stuck with, probably decades of beer and spirits that haven't been cleaned up. So an absolute shithole. But he's prepared to offer you 2,000 gold pieces to be associated with the shithole. And this very elegant lady with clothes almost see-through says, why don't you come check out my establishment? And that's what we'll get into next week as people vie for your sponsorship.
And she offered us $2,500.
She did.
Exactly.
Just to visit.
No,
Well,
so
well,
have our
no, not
names
to visit.
Associated with it.
It's a bit more than
So
visit.
have
And
you, what?
Be
And
the
the-
official drinking place for us.
No.
Yeah.
She said 2,500. Just visit private.
No, that's for
It's
sponsorship.
very late in Canada.
Yes, for sponsorship. So you're either going to sponsor the place. I'll put the name up here. Something I prepared earlier.
Yeah.
The Sirens Roost is a competing
Oh, that just
organisation.
sounds.
Oh shit!
Oh, I
That's my home
know.
away.
I have a feeling that you put the name up, that might be the winner.
Well, we'll see.
Hey,
Wow.
just while I've got everyone here, I'm going to be away in 2 weeks' time. I'm going tramping, so I'm not going to be here next. I'm going to be here next Tuesday, but not the following Tuesday. So,
Okay.
just thought I'd let everyone know.
Just missing
Where-
one session.
Where,
the one-
where are you going tramping, Gerald?
Taranaki, on the side of
Taranaki?
Mount Taranaki. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm going to be away in 2 weeks' time. I've got this yearly thing with these millionaires that I do, the hunting of man.
What? Are you getting hunted?
No. I don't.
The world's most dangerous beast.
They're chill with me, but every year I have to nominate one of my friends to get hunted. And it's kind of like how I stay in good with them.
Yeah. So, are they going hunting on Mount Taranaki? Are they?
Yeah. somewhere.
And
Oh,
we'll be
classic.
You hear a helicopter, right?
we'll be missing a couple of sessions around Christmas as well, because I know it's Tuesday for you guys, but it's Monday for me, and
Yeah.
the 25th is a Monday and it's Christmas Day, and the 1st, so we'll be missing those
Yeah.
2 dates.
Yeah.
So those 2 weeks, I assume we'll all be doing family stuff and look to restart on the 8th/9th. And when are you Darwining, Albert? When's that happening?
I'm in Darwin now and next week as well. And
Wow.
then I'm back in New Zealand. And I don't Darwin it again for long term until mid-January.
Mid-January. Okay.
Yeah. But I don't actually start working in Darwin properly until was it February I just got told today. Until February sometime. I think it's the 4th. It's the 4th of February. So I don't
Is
start working
Darwin-
until
Is Darwin same time zone as?
No, so it
no.
was 2:30 here when we started,
right.
and we also have daylight savings, which
2:30.
It's 2:30, right? So when we started at 6:00.
Well, I mean it's 4:00 here.
It's midnight here.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah,
When does
so
that
it's
be?
5:35 now, or some shit like that. If my clock is right, I'm looking at lots of clocks right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we kicked off at 2:30. My
Which is,
time.
of course,
Yeah.
right.
Is that going to be a problem going forward for you, Albert?
It could be. I'm yet to get my what subject up. I know what subjects I'm taking. I'm yet to get my timetable. That's the word I'm looking for. So until I get the timetable, it's pretty up in the air for me.
Okay.
Yeah, and you'll find out about that sometime before the new year, or
Yeah,
some-
probably. So I'm pushing them forward anyway. So I'm hoping that I get it even before the new year as to what that looks like. But because I'm taking some English classes which have they don't have as many students as they did. The NT government has brought in these new rules around restrictions to what students you can take. So last year, for example, they could take students out of zone, X amount of students, and that's been really tightened. So if I only have one class, I probably have two classes, but if I only have one class that could, English-wise, because I've got several classes drama-wise that could affect things. I don't know how that works, but yeah, I'm kind of leaving it up to them.
It sounds like you really want to talk about the politics of this new school system at length, but we probably don't have time for that.
God, no. No, the opposite of what you just said. I'd rather fucking shoot myself with a pencil. Blunt one of that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll just see what happens.
God, I
in
love
other words.
meeting.
We'll just see what
Yeah,
happens. Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I'll know by mid-January, and hopefully before that, because I keep nudging them.
Yeah. So we're all good for next week, and Darmus is away the week after that.
And then I'm back again for the week after that.
Yeah, but I think we should probably all start to think about how we work around the Christmas New Year's period.
Yeah, well, we have to take the Christmas and the New Year's off because it's Monday in Canada anyway.
Yep.
Rather than
But apart from those 2 weeks, I think I should be available. Otherwise, just, it's a silly season, of course.
I do. I have run like a mid-season campaign for the other campaign I'm doing, like 2 or 3 episode things in summer, like a summer break thing. So if that's a thing as well, that could happen. Just a 2 or 3 shot, and it's basically like a work out all your frustrations, like play the opposite of the character you're playing right now. Just really big dumb shit. This is because this campaign is way more involved than I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
That's cool, though.
yeah.
That's cool, man.
I was just thinking Jason and the Argonauts, like, sword and board,
skeleton.
smashy,
Yeah, I went
stuff.
Sinbad.
Yeah,
I went Sinbad. Yeah.
yeah, fuck it. So yeah.
Lots of cool shit. Lots of cool shit.
Thank you so much for opening this up for us. Yeah.
No, thank you.
All right.
Heaps of fun.
All right, well,
Yeah.
So-
All right. More fun to come.
And
Yeah.
minor spoiler alerts, you are right. The other place is a brothel.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, Proteus is torn again.
Oh, let's see.
It's called the Siren's Roost. My goodness, it's like
Does she offer
Proteus?
ales as well? Is there free ales at the Roost?
Proteus's first poem should be called "Torn Again, Bored Again."
Is it like half Natalie and Brulia?
I'm going to have a couple of poems.
She had half Natalie and Brulia.
I'm going to have a couple of poems prepared depending on how I roll in the performance check.
Yeah,
Very good.
but don't. I mean, Kyle, doesn't your subclass don't you run on poems?
No, he didn't take that one. He didn't take the
Oh,
No, I did
What?
law.
you're
Yeah,
a law bard. Sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Yeah.
Well, you think
Okay,
that would have come in
gentlemen,
handy
I
when
gotta
searching
bounce.
Amazonians?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
of course,
In Canada
Hey,
time.
brother.
of course, Malcolm.
Okay, so let
Yeah,
it go.
thank you very
Take
much.
care, guys.
See you next week.
Thank you.
Likewise.